in the W chat.
Oh, that was a gut check win right there. Oh, nothing in the chat.
Yes, Natasha Howard!
That was a fun one. My gosh, and these jerseys are slick.
What happens when the Indiana Fever lose their most iconic player and still dominate the reigning champs, Aja Wilson's Las Vegas Aces? The answer just might change your entire perspective on this squad. While Caitlin Clark remained sidelined with an injury, clearly frustrated on the bench, visibly reacting to referee calls, her teammates stepped up and took command. Kelsey Mitchell dropped 21 points when it counted, and Sophie Cunningham? She's quickly becoming the most electric player in the WNBA. This wasn't just a win, it was a thunderous statement that shook the entire league. So how did the Fever pull off such an impressive victory? And what exactly did Sophie Cunningham do that had everyone saying she's red hot? Let's break it all down.
Is a win, and the Indiana Fever without Caitlin Clark go up against the Las Vegas Aces and last year's MVP, Aja Wilson, and walk away with a W, 80-70. Sophie Cunningham has been hot to trot. Sophie Cunningham has been on fire.
Imagine this. Your team has just suffered consecutive defeats to the New York Liberty. Your franchise star, Caitlin Clark, is out of action with a groin injury, dressed in street clothes on the bench. That was the exact scenario the Indiana Fever walked into as they returned to Gainbridge Fieldhouse on July 24th. The weight of those losses loomed heavily over the team. One burning question echoed across media and fans alike. Who are the Indiana Fever without Caitlin Clark? Their even 12-12 record only told a fraction of the story.
Obviously, there's no timeline for Caitlin, but what has she been able to do this last week? Is it mostly just rehab recovery, or has she been able to do any kinds of practice?
Yeah, no, I mean, we haven't really practiced since the couple days before All-Star break. So mostly rehab, shooting, and she's been with our athletic training team, and we've been preparing everybody else.
The critics didn't just doubt their playoff hopes; they practically wrote the season off. Social media was unforgiving. Sports commentators labeled them as frauds, exposed and helpless without their breakout star. The narrative was ruthless and clear: no Clark, no chance. The pressure intensified with each passing game. Playoff seeding was on the line. Every possession now had postseason implications. And standing in their path? None other than the Las Vegas Aces, back-to-back champions led by none other than Aja Wilson. Though Vegas entered with a 12-11 record, they carried the aura of title holders, exuding confidence like they owned the league. Head coach Stephanie White understood the magnitude of this matchup more than anyone. This game wasn't just about wins and losses, it was about identity. Were they a serious playoff team capable of competing with the league's elite? Or were they simply a squad reliant on one superstar to survive? White had to dig deep to inspire her players, just as doubt threatened to consume them. The Aces arrived with swagger. Their body language during warm-ups spoke volumes. They expected to win. You can bet this game had been marked on their calendar the second Clark's injury hit the headlines. It was the perfect setup to prove what many critics suspected, that the Fever were just a one-woman act pretending to be a team.
Caitlin presents a challenge in itself for any opponent, but when she doesn't play, how is your team different?
I think our ball moves differently. What we run is different. She has such gravity, and her ability, not just to be the top of the scouting report, but her ability to make everybody better with the ball in her hands. So some of the things that we run are different when she's on the floor than when she's not. We run some more off-ball stuff. A lot less on-ball action.
Aja Wilson herself has dealt with her fair share of resentment regarding Clark's massive spotlight. This was her moment to remind everyone who the real MVP was. The Aces were clearly treating this game as a statement, a warning shot to the rest of the league that experience and championships trump media hype. But here's where things take a dramatic turn. Sometimes the most dangerous team is the one nobody believes in. The Fever used every doubt, every dismissal as fuel. They turned their supposed weakness into a rallying cry. What happened next stunned the entire WNBA. It was proof that true champions are not built when everything's going perfectly, they're forged in adversity.
It's definitely a relief to know that there's nothing else going on and no more damage. Now it's just being patient with the process. You can't have 5-minute lapses against great teams. They make you pay, and they bury you in those moments. I think we've seen, throughout the course of the season, where we've been really good for long stretches, and where we've weathered the ups and downs of a game, and we've got to be able to do that from a neutral mindset. We can't get into the playing conservative.
When a team is desperate for someone to rise, it's often the quiet ones who answer the call. Kelsey Mitchell had her moment, and she grabbed it. All season, Mitchell had been under scrutiny for her inconsistent performances. Critics accused her of disappearing when the team needed her most, and the stats didn't help her case. She could score 20 points one game and follow it up by going 3 of 15 the next. And early on against the Aces, those concerns resurfaced. She missed her first few shots and seemed completely out of sync. The frustration was obvious. Fans at Gainbridge Fieldhouse grew uneasy, sensing the offense sputtering without Clark's usual brilliance. Through 3 quarters, Mitchell had gone 4 of 19. Those are the kind of numbers that usually get you benched. But Coach White didn't flinch. She pulled Mitchell aside during a timeout and gave her a message that would completely flip the script. Let it fly, it's going to go. Those few words hit Mitchell exactly where she needed it. White also reminded her to stay composed, stay balanced, and trust her reads when driving. From there, the support from her teammates became tangible. They didn't just cheer, they actively got her better looks, they set harder screens, they passed with purpose. And gradually, Mitchell found her groove again. In the second half, it all clicked. She started burying jumpers from every spot on the floor. Her pace overwhelmed the Aces' defense. She drove through contact, hit pull-up mid-range shots, and suddenly looked unstoppable. If you are enjoying this video, please subscribe this channel. Every subscriber motivates us to work hard. And also like this video. The fourth quarter became her proving ground. With the game in the balance, Mitchell scored 9 critical points and went 4 of 5 from the field. She also tallied 4 assists, tying for the team high, distributing the ball while still leading the scoring charge. Offense was never the issue for Indiana in this game. Even without Clark, they put up 84 points. Sophie Cunningham knocked down 5 3-pointers, her first real breakout with Indiana. As the spotlight focused on who could replace Clark's scoring, Cunningham quietly emerged as one of the most dangerous perimeter threats in the league. She came into this matchup on a blazing hot streak, scoring in double figures for 6 consecutive games. She was averaging 13.7 points, 4.7 rebounds, and 3 made threes per contest. The big question wasn't whether she could shoot, it was whether she could maintain that efficiency against top-tier teams like Las Vegas. Defenses had started to key in on her. The pressure was mounting, yet she delivered again. Cunningham was hitting 58.1% from beyond the arc in her last 6 games, an outrageous clip that made her the hottest shooter in the league for July. And these weren't garbage time shots, these were high-stakes, momentum-stopping daggers. Against the Aces, Cunningham stayed clutch. She hit 3 of her 4 attempts from deep and finished with 15 points, every single one of them critical to keeping Las Vegas at bay. Each time the Aces seemed ready to surge, Cunningham buried another 3 to kill the run. What makes her so valuable isn't just her shooting, it's the all-around impact. She rebounds, plays tough defense, and brings energy that fuels the entire roster. Coach White inserted her into the starting 5 to maximize that versatility. She called Cunningham a true floor stretcher, a second ball handler, and a playmaker. Now, experts are seriously placing Cunningham in the lead for 6th Player of the Year honors, and honestly, who else even compares? One analyst called her an assassin for her late-game shot making. Her transformation from bench contributor to clutch scorer has changed the entire identity of this team. Even fans are now calling for apologies, saying critics owe Cunningham respect for doubting her impact. When Clark returns, she's rejoining a squad that has another legitimate scoring threat who can change a game in seconds. And then, there was Ari McDonald. With just 35 seconds left and the game still in reach, the Fever clung to a 5-point lead. But Vegas was still dangerous. The Aces had chipped away at the margin all quarter. They just needed one stop and a 3 to flip everything. Enter McDonald. With the clock ticking, she took possession near the top of the arc. The pressure? Immense. If she missed, she gave the defending champs life, but she didn't hesitate. McDonald pulled up with ice in her veins and launched a step-back three that splashed straight through the net. The shot didn't just extend the lead, it shattered Las Vegas's hope. The crowd erupted. Gainbridge Fieldhouse shook. That one shot sealed the deal. McDonald was perfect from deep 3 for 3. She finished with 9 points, 4 assists, and 2 steals in just 22 minutes. And that clutch three? Her only attempt of the fourth quarter. Talk about rising to the occasion. Meanwhile, Natasha Howard laid the foundation with 18 points, 13 rebounds, and 3 steals. She controlled both ends of the court and reminded everyone how elite defense fuels elite offense. "When our defense is on, everything flows," Howard said post-game. McDonald's shot was the exclamation point, but Howard's performance was the backbone of the win. Even Caitlin Clark couldn't contain her excitement. She leapt off the bench to celebrate McDonald's dagger. Despite her injury, Clark remained emotionally locked in the entire game, cheering and coaching from the sidelines like her life depended on it. That three-pointer not only secured the win, it gave Indiana the 2-1 season series edge over Vegas, a potentially critical tiebreaker for playoff seeding. This wasn't just a win. It was a message. It was a declaration. The Indiana Fever are a real threat, not just in 2025, but right now. With Mitchell stepping into leadership, Cunningham torching the nets, and a defense-first mentality guiding the way, this team is peaking at the right time. They now sit 13-12 and 6th in the league standings. And when Clark returns, she's joining a battle-tested unit that's proven it can win against anyone. This team isn't just Clark's supporting cast anymore. It's a complete squad. And the future in Indiana? It's scorching hot. Comment Red Hot Sophie if you're loving this run. Like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss what's next.